Okay, so today what we're going to talk about is how to make a really good poached egg with these silicone PoachPods that come from a company called Zenda Home. I bought these from Amazon.com, and I also picked up a PoachPod Lift, which is this little handle that keeps your hands out of that hot water. So Zenda Home also provides an instruction sheet with it, and the only thing really on here that I paid attention to was that you should grease the pods a little bit, and in my case I used butter. So we have 4 colors, and these are the details. Silicone, unlike plastic, does not leach into your food, or at least you don't have as much concern about that. I like to pre-stage everything, so I have my piece of bread here. I plan to toast it at the same time I'm cooking my eggs, so that I have hot toast to put my poached egg on. We have a pot of water here, and there's enough volume in there that hopefully it keeps its temperature, and will heat up while we're outside now, hunting down the eggs that we're going to need for our project. And wouldn't you know it, it's raining outside, so a lot of my chickens are inside. I was hoping to share with you what they do out on free range. These are members of my free range flock here. I have a large rooster and a hen, and here's another group outside walking in the rain. Some of them don't care, but you notice that they're constantly feeding on grass, bugs, and other things that they find in the environment. And you find out that a free range flock of chickens is going to produce extremely healthy and extremely high quality protein in your eggs. Nothing matches it. This is an Australorp, and she is inside her coop. And we're going to go and find just the right eggs for the project that we want. And I want really fresh eggs. Here's a nice brown shelled egg. What I want you to know about the shell color of an egg is it has nothing to do with the diet of the bird. What it has to do with is the breed of bird that it comes from. For example, a Rhode Island hen is going to lay a brown shelled egg. A Leghorn is going to lay a white shelled egg. The environment that we're raising these in has not had pesticides or herbicides in use for more than 17 years. So the grasses and resources that these birds are feeding on are the healthiest you can imagine. We're in a really lush environment here. Now here's another hen who's just getting up off of her egg, and I plan to take that for the project. As many as 4 hens will share the same nest box. These are all sitting and they're laying their eggs as well. We won't bother them. I'll wait till somebody gets off their egg here. And this is an Americana, by the way. This is one of the hens that will lay a light blue egg, sometimes green or other colors. Now, one thing you're about to hear, when a hen has laid her egg, sometimes they get up and make a long series of squats to let everybody know that they've just laid an egg, and they're really proud of it. You'll also notice that in this group of chickens, there are roosters. You do not need a rooster in order for your hens to produce eggs. They just do it on their own. And hens generally are 5 months old when they begin producing eggs. So here she is, telling us all that she's the best egg layer around. And as soon as she gets off, I'm going to get that egg, and she's going to jump down and go ahead and eat some egg layer rations here. Those are crumbles, and here's a nice dark brown shelled egg. Now the interior of the eggs do not change with the egg shell color. So people that think that maybe a white shelled egg won't taste the same as a brown shelled egg, I guarantee you in a blind taste test, no one is going to know the difference. The composition of the interior of the egg is identical no matter what the shell color is. And here's a little Bantam chicken. Bantam chickens are 1/3 to 1/5 the size of normal large standard birds, and again they'll lay a much smaller egg, and that bird will lay a small white Bantam shelled egg. These are Rhode Island red hens, single comb, and they're mixed in with some Australorps and others. Now here we are inside again. We have the 4 eggs that I've chosen for this project. All the way to the left is a Bantam egg. The next egg is kind of green colored, that's the Americana. Then we have a dark brown shelled egg, and then all the way to the right is the largest, which is the Rhode Island red. And now the water's ready, it's up to a boil, and I think we're in good shape to go ahead and start cooking our eggs. First we have to open these shells. Now I want you to listen while I'm cracking these shells. The shells of these free-range birds are very thick and very strong. And generally I don't even wash them off unless they're dirty from the coop. There's no reason to. These egg shells are protected We're going to cook the eggs, of course, and then we're going to wash our hands after we've handled raw eggs before we pick up the cooked versions. And you're going to notice that the yolks on these eggs are a rich, dark orange color. That's what an egg is supposed to look like. And if you've never had a free-range egg, I highly suggest that you find someone who has free-range birds, get some of those eggs, cook them up, and taste the difference. You won't believe it. Now I've set my bezel here for 5 minutes, and we're going to get these pods floating just as quick as I can so they all start at the same time, I hope. And let me tell you, I really like this PoachPod Lift handle. It keeps your hands out of that boiling water and lets you place the pods really nice. Now we're going to get the lid on it. I did notice that by having the lid on there, some of the water condenses up on the interior of the lid and it drips down onto the eggs. And of course we got to get that piece of toast going. I waited about 2 minutes into the cooking cycle so that my toast is going to be nice and warm at the same time I pull these eggs out. Look at that. They look fantastic. So all of our temperatures were right. These are 5-minute eggs. And now let's get these pods out and see what we have. Really happy with the way this thing went so far. Gonna drain some water off of that one. Now my piece of toast is nice and hot. Let's see how tough it is to peel this silicone pod away from the egg. This is my first time doing this. These are all brand new. We did wash them ahead of time. And I did crack the yolk just a little bit there on the back. So let's just dump it out and see what we have. But I tell you what, it looks like it's cooked nice and even. Normally I would have had to put the egg in the bottom and had the water swirling to try to keep the egg in the middle, and I have to tell you, this is a very simple way. Let's get a knife and fork and cut into this thing. And looks really good to me. And again, look at that brilliant yellow yolk. There isn't a better egg. I don't care who you are or how much you can afford. Free-range chicken eggs are going to be the best ever. Don't forget to crush up those eggshells and put them in your garden, or crush them up and feed them back to your chickens. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe you learned a thing or two about chicken eggs. Thanks again.